Good morning. I'm Ed McNeil, Marketing and Communications Director for the City of Winston-Salem, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Benton as we gather to celebrate the graduation of Winston-Salem Fire Academy's 27th class. Please rise for the procession of Captain Jim Ritchie and Class 27. Please remain standing as the Fire Department's Honor Guard presents our national colors. This will be followed by the singing of the national anthem by Winston-Salem Police Officer Florette Gregory Phillips. We ask that you place your right hand over your heart at the order to present arms and that you remove it only at the command to order arms. All please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight over the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Please be seated. Fire Chaplain Michael Gates will bring our invocation this morning. Please welcome Chaplain Gates.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you today for each of the firefighters represented here in the building and each one that serves our city. We pray that you will keep protection upon them. Thank you for each and every chief that we have. And thank you for all that they do. Thank you for Chief Mayo as he oversees this, and for our mayor and pro-tem and everyone that's part of this event. Thank you for these firefighters that have stepped up to the plate to prepare so they can serve this, our community. Thank you that we live in a nation that is free and that we can come to you and ask you to protect, to bless, and to watch over each and every one. I pray that this day will be a very special day for family and for friends and for the entire fire department of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Our city is headed by a council made up of 8 members and led by a mayor. Mayor Alan Joines began working for the city in 1971 and retired as deputy city manager in 2000. He was first elected mayor in 2001 and is now serving in his 5th term. Combined, he has worked 48 years for the citizens of Winston-Salem. Please welcome Mayor Alan Joines.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. To our Mayor Pro Tem and our Chairman of the Public Safety Committee, James Taylor, our City Manager, our Police Chief, and other members of the DS, and particularly to our Speaker of the Hour, we welcome you to our community. I want to acknowledge 3 of our council members who are here. Councilmember Jeff McIntosh from the Northwest Ward, Councilmember John Larson from the South Ward, and Councilmember Dan Bessie from the Southwest Ward. Great supporters of our public safety efforts here. Certainly on behalf of the city and as the mayor of the city, I want to bring my congratulations to Chief Mayo and the training staff for producing another wonderful class of new firefighters coming to our community, 16, that we're welcoming to the city family today. You know, I think we all probably have enjoyed the series in Winston-Salem Journal over the past several weeks as we, the public, had an opportunity to have a glimpse what these young men and women have been going through for the past several weeks. I think a lot of us think about firefighting as just a single facet, and that is putting out a fire, but as we saw in these series, there's so much more to becoming a firefighter. The fire suppression certainly is a key part of that, but the rescue, the technical rescue training that goes in, and then on top of that, each one of our firefighters are certified as emergency medical technicians as well. Tremendous amount of training that goes forward with that. The council and I, our role, I think, is to make sure that our firefighters have the tools they need to do the job that we want for our community, as well as to make sure that their pay is in line, is competitive market-wise, and we've taken some bold steps in the past several years to make sure that we are competitive. But that being said, we know that it is almost impossible to put a value on the lives of these young men and women who are now putting their lives at risk for us every day that they go to work there, putting their lives at risk to save others, putting their lives at risk to protect the city of Winston-Salem. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all of our citizens, there are 245,000 of us roughly here in Winston-Salem now, I personally thank you, and I know our city council thanks you for your willingness to step up, your willingness to put yourself in harm's way to help protect our citizens. Public safety, I think, is one of the most important things that we as a city government do for our citizens, to keep our city safe and our citizens safe as well. So thanks to every one of you, and I want to thank the members of the family and friends who are here today, who are supporting these men and women, because I'm Sure, they could not have done it without your support, and they will continue to need your support going forward. We're proud of each one of you, and I proudly welcome you to the city family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Joines. Mayor Pro Tem Vivian H. Burke is the longest-serving elected official in our city's history. She was first elected to the council in 1977 and is now serving in her 10th term. Across her 42 years, she spent 36 years as the chairman of the Public Safety Committee. Please welcome Mayor Pro Tem and council member of the Northeast Ward, Mrs. Vivian H. Burke.
Good morning. It's always a pleasure for me to stand and greet all of you, and especially to our firefighters. Chief Mayo said to me one day publicly that I keep my word. Now, this morning would have been a good time for me to play like I was sick. It was raining, all this in the air when we're allergic to certain things, but I made sure that I always keep my word. I've been retired for nearly 25 years from a job, and I want you to know every place in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, I love. Every area of this city I love, and I am comfortable because I always know we have fine people making sure we are safe and sound. To the city manager who makes sure that the elected officials' desires and wishes are taken care of when it comes to all departments in City Hall. We especially say to him, we put no price tag on the value of safety. Whatever our fire, police, emergency management need, we give it to you. I was thinking about the graduates this morning as I was praying and meditating. And I knew I would see some fine-looking young faces starting off your career. But I want to say what's so important, that we keep our families in front, that we love and nurture our families. Give all the kind of time that you need to give to your family, because time passes. If you have children, make sure you embrace them and love them every day, that they may grow and be productive citizens. When the person who was giving the orders this morning that was telling us to sit down, who was that person? Who did the speaking out? Chief, who was speaking out? We need you in some of these high schools. They would love what you're doing. You could get some order. You could get some order. And you know, students like something that's different. And if you were going to these schools and you would do that command, principals and guidance counselors and teachers and parents would appreciate you. So if ever you visit one of the schools, do that. It would be appreciated. Again, I want you to know, as you heard, how long I have served. I must love it to continue to do it. May God continue to bless all of you, and to your families, your parents, your wives, your sisters, your brothers, your friends. God be with all of you. And we look forward to a pleasant, happy relationship. God be with you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. The City Council's Public Safety Committee is made up of 4 members providing the resources for fire, police, and emergency management. They are led by the council member from the Southeast Ward, who is a 2003 graduate of the Criminal Justice Program at the University of North Carolina Central. Please welcome Public Safety Chairman James Taylor, Jr.
Good morning. I have the honor and privilege of bringing greetings on behalf of the Public Safety Committee for the City of Winston-Salem. I'd like to take a moment and just recognize Councilmember McIntosh, Councilmember Larson, Mayor Pro Tem Burke. Together, we work very hard, along with the chief, the fire administration, to make sure that the fire department has what they need to be successful. To fire recruit class 27, want to thank you for your commitment, your dedication, your courage to step up and answer the call to service. I have firsthand heard stories about how you faced obstacles, how you experienced adversity, and how you worked through those obstacles and that adversity to be here today. It says a lot about your character. We appreciate your willingness to serve. To the family, to the friends, thank you for sharing them with us. There are going to be some long nights and some sleepy days, but we know in public service it's necessary to move this community forward. So my comments will be brief today. Just want to say to the recruit class, I want to encourage you to keep moving, to keep pushing. I want to thank you for what you've done and for what you'll continue to do to help this city to be a better place to live, work, and relax. And before I take my seat, if the family and friends would join me in giving them a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Taylor. Trey Mayo began his service to the residents of Winston-Salem 4 years ago. In the monthly public safety news conference, he often reminds media to share with the public that house fires can be prevented and that protecting lives and property is really a partnership between residents, businesses, and the fire department. He is a 30-year veteran of the fire services. Please welcome Winston-Salem Fire Chief Trey Mayo.
Thank you. Good morning. Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Burke, Chairman Taylor, Council Members McIntosh, Larson, and Bessie, Mr. Manager, and I saw Assistant City Manager DeCane is here somewhere. Welcome to you all. We appreciate you all taking time out of a Friday morning schedule that I know is busy to join us. I'd also like to welcome the fire chiefs that are in the audience, and I always take a risk doing this. If I fear somebody slipped in and I didn't see them, but Chief Dale Couch is here from Yadkinville. Todd Gaulden, the chief at Stokesdale, is here, and Jimmy Barrow is here, chief at Piney Grove, and City View Fire Chief Tim Wicker is also here with us. We appreciate you all joining us this morning. And to the recruits, I say, congratulations, you all have made it. This is a day we've been waiting for about 6 months now. And after those 6 months of early mornings and late nights and blood, sweat, and tears, literally, we are as excited as you are, particularly for Monday morning when you all will start showing up in the fire stations. And I want you all to be reminded that as good as our training programs are, we exceed the state minimums in a number of areas, particularly in areas like SCBA and firefighter survival. But most of your learning will begin Monday morning when you go on shift. And there are 3 areas that will always require your attention for the rest of your career. And those are fire behavior, building construction, and physical fitness. And lack of acuity in those 3 areas is responsible for killing 77% of the firefighters that died in the United States in 2017. Firefighters who die on the fire ground are almost always victims of either not understanding what the smoke and the building were telling them, or they fell victim to lack of exercise and a poor diet. So don't fail your crew, your families, or yourselves because you lost focus on fire behavior, building construction, and physical fitness. And always remember the importance of attention to detail and how empty salt shakers lead to dead firefighters. Now it's my privilege this morning to introduce our guest speaker. Dan Eggleston is a second-generation firefighter who's been a member of the fire service since 1978. That was the year I started kindergarten, in case you were curious. He's currently the fire chief in Albemarle County, Virginia, where he leads 700 members in a combination fire department, providing services to 108,000 residents from 14 fire and rescue squad stations over an area of 726 square miles. In his 17 years as chief, Dan has led the department through change from an all-volunteer force to a unified and successful combination system. During that time, he has secured multiple FEMA grants for both personnel and equipment. He launched Project Risk, which engages social services, law enforcement, Habitat for Humanity, and the Fire Corps, and uses data to create targeted risk reduction messaging and programs. He's invested $25 million in fleet modernization, established a health and wellness program, enhanced training, and improved the department's public protection class rating. He places high value on teamwork, relevance, customer focus, and family. He's used his first 6 months as president of the International Association of Fire Chiefs to promote the fire service's acknowledgement of and preparedness for what he described as some of the stormiest and demanding issues we've ever faced: active assailants, homegrown terrorism, cancer prevention, firefighter mental health, and finding adequate funding for critical resource needs. Dan has a bachelor's in business administration from Averett University and a master's in emergency management from the University of Richmond. He's a graduate of the National Fire Academy's Executive Fire Officer Program and is credentialed as both a Chief Fire Officer and a Chief Medical Officer by the Center for Public Safety Excellence. In 2015, he was named Career Fire Chief of the Year by the International Association of Fire Chiefs. Please join me in welcoming the President and Chairman of the Board of the International Association of Fire Chiefs from Albemarle County, Virginia, Dan Eggleston.
Well, good morning, everyone. One of my greatest fears is to reach down and grab this folder. I need to adjust it for my height versus Chief Mayor. Grab this folder and for it to be a menu from a Chinese restaurant instead of my speech. You know, one of the best things I like about addressing a crowd from the South is I don't have to explain my accent, so thank you for that. But what a beautiful city. Winston-Salem is absolutely gorgeous city. And growing up in Richmond, Virginia, I can understand the transformation of an industry from tobacco to one of medical and research is not an easy transformation, but that requires good, strong leadership and vision, which I'll give the mayor and the council members and the leaders of the city credit for that, and the citizens too, because it is absolutely a beautiful place. I always love coming to Winston-Salem. You have a great reputation both in the fire department and in the city for doing very progressive things, and I really commend you for that. Although I'm a fire chief, I do have a boss, and as painful as it may be, my boss wanted me to remind the fine folks of North Carolina that UVA is in the Final Four. So. Sorry, I had to get that over with. But you know, it's an honor to be here this morning, and congratulations to the recruit class on completing a very demanding training program. You know, an unbelievable amount of effort goes into preparing these recruits to be career firefighters. It's an incredible amount of work. And because of all that, I really want to congratulate the recruit officer training staff as well, because they put equally amount of time, if not more, every day to ensure that these recruits are well trained and professional. But you know, at the results of this, your professionalism and dedication is unmatched. So job well done. Thank you very much for that. The members of the Winston-Salem Fire Department and I feel that it's critical to acknowledge the family and friends that they are the backbones of these firefighters' success throughout this academy and throughout your career, quite frankly. We know that the spouses, the siblings, parents, children, and friends, you all have been cheering on their accomplishments from the moment they dedicated to pursue this career. I know how very proud you are, and thank you for your support. You know, as brand new firefighters, you're now trained to serve as a functional member of a fire company. What you're about to begin gaining, quite frankly, is experience. The world is constantly changing, but one thing that's not changed is that when people need help, they call 911, and firefighters answer the call. The profession you have chosen is a noble one because you are willing to place yourself between people and bad things that are happening to them. It's pretty simple. Your career will be both dangerous and rewarding, sometimes at the same time. It's because of this I want to always remember you to remember three main things as you graduate today and think about your future as a career firefighter. First of all, as Chief Mayo said, safety is our #1 priority, and that requires you to be physically fit and stay physically fit. I always use my brother-in-law as a great example of this. My brother-in-law is celebrating his 40th year as a career firefighter in Virginia, and he's a captain on a truck company and can run circles around his crew because he's maintained his physical fitness and health throughout his career. And I always hold him up as high standards because of that. So age is not the indicator of willingness in that case. In addition to that, you've got to be confident in your ability, but don't be complacent. You know, always think about how you can improve yourself in your team. Train as if your life depends on it, because quite frankly it does. You never know what might happen, and you have to result on your training. And follow your safety policies and continue to improve upon them. We can always do a better job to make this profession much safer than it is now. We've done a wonderful job over the number of years to reduce firefighter fatalities, but we still have a level in which we're not comfortable with. The second thing is be a team player. This is a team sport. Take care and watch out for your teammates. You know, we have to do that. We have to watch out for each other because we don't do a lot of single task jobs in the fire service. Often involves teams, and you've got to look out for each other. You've got to watch out for your safety and your well-being on the job and off the job. Don't ever bring dishonor to your fellow firefighters. You know, when you do customer surveys out in the community, they always rank the fire department at #1. It drives the police officers crazy. And, but that's true. So we never want to do anything to damage that trust or bring dishonor to the profession. That's why we need to be professional both on duty and off duty. Because when you're walking through the grocery store, even though you may not have your uniform on, you're associated with that fire department. So we've got to hold our head high and act like professionals. And remember that all the members who work for the city are part of a team. While we all have many different experiences and varied backgrounds, you're really one organization. So act like that. Make sure that we help each other out. And you know, it's always good to have fun on the job, but not at anyone's expense. You know, you can be fun and have fun and do the job as a firefighter. There's no doubt about it. We've done it for years. But we can do it in a way that's professional and respectful. And last but not least, know your mission. When it comes down to it, you're the tip of the spear when it comes to public safety. And you're often called when people have failed to resolve their emergencies, so you're the last resort. So you need to show up with your A game every day. The people you will help will remember you for the rest of their lives. You may not know the names and faces, but you will be stopped in grocery stores, hardware stores, and in the community, and people will come up to you and say, hey, I remember you when you came to my house 5 years ago. We had a small fire in the kitchen or something like that. So just keep that in mind. You know, you have an obligation to participate in defining and improving your department and continuously look at that opportunity during your career to leave a legacy. And you need to think about that today. What are you going to do so when you retire, you can say, I made an advancement in the fire service. I moved the ball a little bit further down the field. Finally, I would like to thank the families and friends who have supported their loved ones during these challenging past many weeks. You know, I can't say enough about that. You know you've played a big part in their success and will continue to do so throughout their career. And let me thank you in advance for supporting them while they were going through this trying times. You probably had many of ibuprofen doses going out when they came home from their recruit school. And I hope really during this process, during this graduation, that you take as much pride in them as they do their department, because they're joining a unique profession and a unique family. And please remember, as spouses, partners, children, parents, and siblings, you're now part of a much bigger family. You're part of the fire service family. So firefighters, I'm very proud of what you've accomplished and with your recruit academy. So savor this moment and don't forget the feeling. Your children will look up to you as role models. The community will uphold you as professional problem solvers. It's a weighty responsibility, but one that I'm quite sure each of you are prepared to take on. So I'm going to leave you with a quote, one of my favorite quotes from Robert F. Kennedy. He says, few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events. And in the total, all of those acts will be written the history of this generation. So thank you, congratulations, and God bless.
Thank you, Chief. Each of these graduates completed more than 1,200 hours of training and testing to wear the badge. And today, they're prepared to take on the task of saving lives and property every day as they serve the citizens of Winston-Salem. Safety and Training Captain Chris Belcher will join us to provide an overview of what it takes to become a Winston-Salem firefighter.
Good morning. I didn't do this by myself. Engineer Brendel, if you would, just stand for a second there. He was very helpful. I have a lot on my plate, so I just want to recognize him because he was a tremendous asset. Class 27, it's been a long haul, 6 months. Started out probably a year ago. Went through the application process, then you had the ability test, along with a written test, then you had to go through the interview panel, then you had your NFPA physicals. Then it got started. We met with the families that Saturday, most of the families, told them what to expect, and told them that you were going to have a tough time and they were going to need your support, and obviously you supported them because they're sitting here, so thank you. Total of 28 weeks of recruit school consisting of 3 weeks of orientation with 120 hours, 6 weeks of EMT totaling 224 hours, 12 weeks of fire and hazmat school totaling 480 hours, 7 weeks for technical rescue and the closeout of the recruit school for 280 additional hours for a total of 1,104 hours. And that doesn't count the 3 days a week of PT at 6 o'clock in the morning. Didn't matter whether it was snowing, raining, sun was out, 3 days a week. But that was the total of their recruit school. And I'm proud of you guys, and thank you.
Thank you, Captain. As you mentioned that, all the activities and what it took, and the mayor talked about what was in the journal this week, I will encourage all of you, go back if you missed it in the Winston-Salem Journal, did a great job of chronicling the work of that it took to become a Winston-Salem firefighter. Captain Chris Belcher, please proceed to retire the guidon. Thank you, Captain Belcher. We'll now begin with our special awards section. City Manager Lee Garrity, Assistant Fire Chief of Safety, Training, and Special Operations Frank Stowe, and Chief Firefighter Trey Mayo will present the awards for Class 27. The awards are the Vivian H. Burke Character Award, the Outstanding Teammate Award, and the Fire Chiefs Award.
Good morning. I love these events. It's a special time for all of you and all of your families to join the City of Winston-Salem family. We're a family, as the mayor said, of 255,000 citizens, but within those 255,000 citizens, there are 2,500 city employees. It's a big family, but we take care of each other, and we're glad to have you in that family. Each year, at each recruit class, starting about 3 or 4 years ago, I've had the distinct honor of awarding the Vivian H. Burke Distinguished Character Award. When you think about character, when you read the definition of character in the dictionary, the words that describe character, integrity, respect, honor, decorum. Those of you who have had the honor and the privilege to work with the Mayor Pro Tem, Vivian H. Burke, for more than 40 years with the city government, know that those things are very important to her. Several years ago, she asked that we start this award program for both the police and fire rookie classes. Over in the Beatty Center, you will see the framed pictures of the recruit each year who wins that award. This year, I have the distinct honor of awarding the Vivian H. Burke Character Award to Andre Herrera.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is a very lively moment. As I looked out across the crowd, yes, I looked out across the crowd and I didn't see enough smiling faces. I didn't see enough happy people. I didn't see enough people who are just glad that this day has come, because you think about the fact that these young men and women, this is something they dreamed of from the day they were born. Some of them as toddlers, when they grabbed the fire truck or they heard a siren going down the road, and they say, Mommy and Daddy, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. And now their time has come. So I want you to be joyous for them. I want you to be happy for them, because they're about to celebrate a milestone in their life. They're about to embark on a career, not just a job. They're about to embark on a career for their life. They're about to embark on something that's going to mean something to someone. That's what they're about to do. And I am so proud of them. I am so proud that I have been a part of this. So now I'm going to do what I stepped up here to do. So I have the honor of presenting to you the Outstanding Teammate Award. Now, this is not an award that we as administrators or the class coordinators pick. This is something that they do themselves. They vote on it. They vote on the individual themselves. This award recognizes an employee who, through words and actions, encourages the team to get the job accomplished. This person works well with others within the department and with other departments, encourages and builds up workers, and is focused on accomplishing the mission rather than personal recognition. This person constantly encourages team spirit and serves as the team's backbone. When I tell you that this individual truly deserves this award, when I tell you this individual has truly impressed me throughout this class, I mean what I say. And at this time, I'd like to present to you Mr. President Juan Martinez.
My office is across the hall from Chief Stowe's, so we can balance each other. The Chief's Award is presented to the class valedictorian, and attaining such a high academic standing is no small feat. In the setting of a 40-hour-a-week fire academy, there truly is no rest for the weary. It's early mornings, it's physical training before dawn. They're in class all day, studying at night and on the weekends, and still trying to find time to eat, sleep, and spend time with the family. You just can't get away from it. They're preparing, if they're not preparing for an EMT exam, they're practicing tying knots in the dark or rehearsing the steps to share their breathing air with an incapacitated crewmate. It's truly, learning one skill after another to the point of unconscious competence so that they can operate under conditions that are more severe than most people can imagine. I made the total hours of classroom instruction to be about 1,100, and over those 1,100 hours, both fire and EMT, the class had an average on both sides within 100 points in fire and EMT of 89, and I think that's a testament both to the quality of people we hire and to the quality of instruction that we deliver. So congratulations to the recipient of the Chief's Award for Class 27, Will Sorrell.
What'd you do to this thing, Chief? So when your chief is 6'5", that's what happens, right? Okay. Now is the time in the ceremony where we hear from the class spokesman about their experience of becoming a Winston-Salem firefighter. Please welcome the spokesman of Class 27, Juan Martinez.
Good morning. There's no way I'll be able to deliver the same amount of energy that Chief Stowe just delivered. Just fair warning out there, okay? But on behalf of our class, Recruit Class 27, we wanted to thank everybody to come out here to support us, city staff, mayor, mayor pro-tem, city council members, fire chief, and all the fire department staff that's out here with us today. Thank you, guys. Personally, I know this wouldn't have been a reality for me without the support of my wife. Stand up, babe. That's my wife right there. So with that being said, thanks to everybody who supported, all the recruits, all the family members, all the friends, everybody who supported us to be here today. So for you. I want to take a brief moment to remember all fire, EMS, police personnel, and military personnel who paid the ultimate sacrifice in servitude to a great country, all right? Class 27, fellow recruits, I couldn't be more proud of what we accomplished as a team. Since we started this academy, we bonded and we created a fraternity. It's impossible to break, and it'll last a lifetime. We came from all walks of life, and I think that's what makes us unique. We forged this unique group, and we just made it very special. We had each other's back from the very beginning. We gave the word team a whole new meaning. It's incredible. Every single step of this academy, we took it as a family, step by step, and we made it happen. We wanted also to extend our gratitude to EMS, fire instructors, to include the PT instructors, which that was our favorite part of the academy. And everybody who had a part of instructing and teaching us and mentoring and guiding us throughout this academy. You guys made the academy a success and us being here possible today. Because it's a dream. We made this dream a reality. So I just hope you guys realize that. This is it. It's been an honor, truly an honor, a privilege, and my pleasure to be your class president. All right? Even though I had no say in. I want you guys to remember how much it took us to get here, and I want you to go out to the field and extend our family when you meet your new crew and start working together, but I want you to keep this mentality. Take advantage of all the training. Don't ever walk past a problem you cannot solve. If you see something wrong, fix it. Treat everyone with respect, lead by example, and honor those who came before us by leaving the fire service even better than we found it. Thank you. At this time, I don't know where they went. At this time, we'd like to present Chief Mayo with her class plaque. Also, we'd like to present Captain Belcher with a little gift for putting up with us this whole time. Engineer Brendel, also for putting up with us the whole time. We got him to smile. Again, thank you very much. It's been an honor for me to be here before you, and that's my class right there.
It is customary that we call the name of each graduate and have him or her come forward and be congratulated by the individual seated here on the stage, and to then join the person they've chosen to share in the honor of pinning the badge onto their uniform for the first time. If you were selected to do the pinning, please move to the far right-hand side of the stage here and wait until your graduate exits the stage. You can go ahead and move in that direction now. Then join them at that photo wall, it's the blue and white photo wall over there, to pin the badge onto their uniform for the first time. Now, please welcome Chief Trey Mayo and Assistant Chief of Logistics Harry Brown for our badge and certificate presentation. Chief Mayo.
You really have plenty of time to get over there. This is the part of the ceremony that Ed says I take too long. So, as you receive your badges today, I want you to understand a little bit about the history of the badge and what its significance is. So, badges evolved from coats of arms that knights wore during the Middle Ages. Because they were dressed in suits of armor, they had to have some way to identify friend from foe. So they wore they used a coat of arms that they displayed on their shield. And most knights carry their shields in their left hands, which is why we wear our badges on our left chest. And in the center of that badge is a cross. And many in the fire service incorrectly refer to that as a Maltese cross. That is not a Maltese cross. Chief Eggleston, if you'll raise your left arm so that they can see your years of service crosses, that is a Maltese cross. What is in the center of your badge is St. Florian's cross. And St. Florian, and I want to give credit to Chief Dr. Mike Cook, who at the time he did this research and published it, he was the assistant chief at the Fort Leavenworth, Kansas Fire Department. But the story is about St. Florian. And Florian von Cityofwinston was a Roman army officer in the late 3rd and early 4th centuries in a region that we would today know as Austria. Florian quickly rose through the ranks of the Roman army and was named Perfectus Vigilum, or fire chief, and was supreme commander of the Roman firefighters, which were known as vigils. Only the most skilled soldiers were allowed to join the vigils, as it was generally accepted that they had the most dangerous job in the army. During the height of the Roman Empire, Florian commanded a firefighting force of 16,000. Ultimately, he held the rank of imperial commander in charge of 70,000 soldiers. This was after his time as fire chief. And it was during that time when he was imperial commander that Florian became a Christian. In the year 304, Emperor Diocletian ordered that the empire be cleansed of all Christians. Diocletian's wife and son were very strong pagans, and they convinced Diocletian to rid the empire of Christians. But in and then remember that Florian had become a Christian, but in recognition of all of the good work that Florian had done, Diocletian made several efforts, including whipping, to persuade Florian to give up Christianity and remain imperial commander. But Florian refused. So running out of options and fearing a civil revolt due to Florian's popularity, Diocletian ordered that Florian be burned at the stake on May 4th, year 304. After being tied to the stake, kindling was piled around Florian, but the soldiers were unable to light the fire. As they struggled, Florian taunted the execution detail for their incompetence and told them to fetch more wood so the fire would produce extra heat and smoke to lift him to heaven. Because they could not light the fire, and due to Florian's fearlessness, several members of the execution detail ran away, believing Florian possessed magic and would curse them if they carried out their assignment to execute him. Reacting to this, the local governor, Aquilius, ordered that Florian be drowned, and his executioners took Florian to a pier over the river Enns, bound his hands and feet, and tied a millstone to his neck. The river Enns is what we today would know as it's a branch of what we today would call the Danube River. None of the executioners would push the stone off the pier that would take Florian to his death, because again, they believed he had special powers. Several hours passed before a Christian-hating man was found to push the stone into the river, and Florian was drowned. Legend holds that as the life left Florian's body, the clouds of the overcast day instantly broke, and the sun shone brightly as the river turned from tranquil to turbulent, and that the executioner who pushed the stone off the pier woke the next morning and was blind. The angry waves of the river washed Florian's body to shore, where it was retrieved by his friends and loaded onto an ox cart for transport to his burial site in Linz, Austria. Along the route to Linz, the oxen and burial party became tired and thirsty, so they stopped. There, where they stopped, the oxen began to paw the ground, and a spring came forth. And to this day, at that spot, there is a statue of Florian holding a bucket, and from that bucket runs alpine water. And people who have drunk and bathed in that water claim that it is capable of miraculous healing and faith. They lie mostly along the Austrian-Turkey border, but there are about 250 churches named in Florian's honor, and he became regarded as patron saint for 3 intercessions. The first was safeguarding from fire. The second was protection from water-related disasters. And the third was that he is regarded as patron saint for being the overall defender of Austria. The day of Florian's execution, May 4th is now celebrated as International Firefighters Day. May the 4th be with you. St. Florian's Cross has 8 points, each representing a knightly quality to which you are expected to commit henceforth. Those qualities are discretion, loyalty, mental dexterity, attentiveness, compassion, thoroughness, gallantry, and perseverance. And if you always let those qualities guide your intent, you will never disgrace your badge.
Ethan Adams. Mike Avery. Ricky Cooper. Samuel Harvey. Andres Herrera. Cody Joyner. Jason Kinney. Adam Key. Antonon Knight. Keegan Mahaffey. Juan Martinez. Rose Pinter. April Rothrock. Tommy Smith. Will Sorrell. Cody Wilson. Firefighters, you are held to high standards and given a challenging task of watching over our city around the clock. We all wish you great success and long careers in the City of Winston-Salem family. To our audience, please be seated. Please remain seated as the graduates and the speakers here on stage exit the room. You are welcome to come back inside to take photos at the wall if you would like with your firefighter. That will conclude our program today.